The character was created by Tony Isabella and Trevor Von Eeden and originally debuted in Black Lightning #1 in April 1977, during the Bronze Age of comic books. While his origin story has been retconned multiple times, his current origin story indicates that he was born as a metahuman, a human with superhuman powers, in the DC universe. Jefferson Pierce aka Black Lightning was the first African-American superhero to have his own series in DC Comic. Jefferson Pierce grew up in Suicide Slum, a rundown neighborhood of Metropolis that acquired its name from the belief that the only way to escape the slum's depravity was to commit suicide. Jeff and his widowed mother were struggling after his father was inadvertently murdered during a mob hit. A month or so later, Peter Gambi, an Italian tailor, built a shop under their apartment and assisted them with their financial problems. While his mother worked long hours to support them, Peter was there to care for Jeff. Gambi gradually began to meet Jeff's desire for a good father figure in his life. Jeff excelled in athletics and academics as a youngster, having a passion for English and poetry. He also wrote a few phrases that Peter remembered. Justice, like lightning, should always appear to some men hope, to other men terror. Jefferson made it to the Olympic Games at the age of 18, receiving notoriety through media reports that highlighted his journey from Suicide Slum. Jefferson wanted to convey a message to everyone back home that with hard effort, you could move out of the neighborhood. He obtained scholarships and endorsement offers as a result of his medals and attention, allowing him to attend college and get both an English major and a teaching degree. 4 years after leaving for college, he returned to the Olympics and won the decathlon. The gold medalist then started teaching in New Carthage but returned to Metropolis due to his mother's death. Jefferson had married Lynn Stewart during his time away. He and Lynn were only married for a brief period, but they had a daughter, Anissa. He saw his future as Black Lightning as a necessary sacrifice in order to give Anissa the freedom to live a regular life. Anissa, however, exhibited metahuman capabilities at the age of 11. She found she could change her density and weight at will. Regardless, Anissa gave in to her parents' desires and pursued a pre-med degree rather than costumed adventuring. Jefferson was so protective of his daughter that he never told anybody about her. Anissa moved in with her mother when Jefferson and Lynn split. Lynn was dissatisfied with him since he was not the community activist that she was. He seemed to be just concerned with getting himself out of the ghetto. He returned to Metropolis and saw that nothing had changed in Suicide Slum. Pierce felt it was time to make a difference, and at his former high school, Garfield High School, he instantly made an impression by kicking a drug peddler off the premises and then humiliating 3 members of the criminal organization known as the 100. In response, they murdered one of Pierce's students, Earl Clifford, and dumped his body in the GHS gymnasium. Pierce, upset, told Peter Gambi about the tragedy, who advised him to fight back in a persona that wouldn't inspire counterattacks on his students and gave him a costume. Black Lightning was born, armed with a force field belt that allowed him to create lightning bolts. Jefferson used a jive-talking speech pattern and a mask-wig combo that gave him a huge afro when dressed in costume to appeal to the era's traditional notion of blacks, simple methods that diverted suspicion from a well-educated schoolteacher. Black Lightning carved out a niche in Metropolis, eventually acquiring the trust of high-profile people such as Superman, Inspector Bill Henderson, and journalist Jimmy Olsen. Along the way, he fought numerous of the 100 superpowered underlings, including Merlin, the Cyclotronic Man, and Cyanide, as well as the gang's colossal albino leader, Tobias Whale. Retaliation for Black Lightning's activities would occur, but not against his students. Rather, Peter Gambi paid the price by jumping in front of a bullet intended for Black Lightning. The hero appeared to be lost when he was stripped of his force field belt, but in his rage, Black Lightning reproduced its effects from within his own body. He'd ingested the electrical power in some unknown way. The encounter with the 100 had also revealed Peter's worst secret. He'd lavished Jeff and Mrs. Pierce with love and support as a form of penance. He'd been the guy who'd murdered Jeff's father. During this time, Jeff's ex-wife Lynn was employed as a teacher at Garfield High, where she discovered Jeff was Black Lightning. Black Lightning then met a guy who would become one of his most biggest crime-fighting allies, Batman. They worked together to investigate a series of student abductions, including Dick Grayson, and were able to meet Superman and Black Canary before the case was closed. This led him to encounter Green Arrow, with whom he recognized a similar spirit. Black Lightning appeared to be ready for the big leagues. After meeting Green Arrow, Jefferson was offered a membership in the Justice League, but Lightning declined the honor. The Justice League of America accepted his choice, and Black Lightning soon joined forces with Superman to solve the murder of Trina Shelton, who was shot and died by a stray bullet during an incident between Lightning and several muggers. As a result of a psychological obstacle, Jefferson lost his inner capabilities.